I'm waiting for people to come in the building. I'm waiting for people to come in the building. Some of you already know what's going on, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it for real. So, the communist mayor has won New York City. He won by a landslide. And it's like the New York City that we gotten to know, right? The city that we gotten to know will not be the same. The people have made their decision, and it's like either way you look at it, whether it been him or Cuomo, they two of the same. They not that much of a difference. They just happen to get the younger version of the communists because Cuomo is a communist too. So, what a time to look at the fall of New York City, y'all. And I do believe that the people of New York State will remove its support from New York City eventually. I could see that transpiring where it will go back to the boroughs. The presidents of the boroughs will have to figure out how to keep the city afloat because the state of New York will have a conversation with the broad to remove the support of New York City and have its own governing like the time of old. That's what's going to end up happening. If that does happen, that the state of New York no longer wants to be part of New York City and let it go back to where it used to be, the borough presidents getting some help from the government of the DMV, I don't see that happening. I think that's what's going to be the Escape New York trilogy is going to be start beginning. Now let me say this: do not come with your Ibarasi ways to the South because the people in the South don't want the Ibarasi ways down here, especially down here in Florida, or you go to North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, Texas. Don't come down here with the nonsense and you'll be good. Just know that coming down here, everything is spacious, things close early. The things that y'all do up there, you definitely won't be able to do it down here because it will be consequential situations that will be waiting for you. Okay? So I want to make that clear. You know, the city that I once know that had a good run under Giuliani, to me was the best mayor of all time in New York City. It has gone from that to a communist socialist person who don't have a care in the world about the city of New York. The people have voted that entity into office. It's going to be crazy. And it's going to be very interesting to see how the commissioner, what Mayor Adams have to say upon his departure. We're going to be talking about it. We're going to be talking about it, and I do believe that the state of New York will separate itself from the city of New York, and it goes back to the boroughs being in charge and figuring out how to get money. Now, when it comes to Long Island and Suffolk County, they will separate itself from New York if they haven't already from the city of New York. And so we're going to see something that has never been done in our country, the fall of a city. And that is going to trickle to Los Angeles. And when it trickles to Los Angeles, it's going to trickle to Chicago. And that's the trifecta. Those three places are going to get hit because you already have a socialist mayor in New York now. You have one in LA and you have one in Chicago. And it's a trickle effect, y'all. It's a trickle effect because those three places was the prominent corridor of their prospective region. LA was known to be the hot spot in the West Coast, Los Angeles. Chicago was known to be the hot spot in the Midwest. And New York City was known to be the hot spot in the Northeast. And now they no longer care for the average American person, a man or woman that works to provide. You are now being replaced by communist and socialism ideas to make you lazy and not want to win. And a lot of people with serious money are going to make tough decisions in the next few months because I could see a potential of a lot of places closing in New York City, a lot of opportunities closing down. And you're going to have people that will be able to move into places that they didn't work hard to get into because of this mayor. And the actual people that invest in New York City will leave. So where they going to get the money from? And I could see the first time potentially in American history where the NYPD, not right away, in due time, will no longer have a police force. Me and Ethan, we talked about this a long time ago when we stayed in New York City. This is back in the early 2000s. We talked about if the NYPD was to, you know, be no more or hospitals closed down, that's the end of New York City. Well, it looks like it's coming to fruition. And so I tell you, it's going to get crazy. And see, they said that a lot of young people voted for this communist, voted for socialist program. That's not good. That's not good. We got a lot of young folks who don't want to work and provide. That's not a good look for the city of New York. So I expect a lot of elderly people moving back to the South. Some of them don't want to move to the South. They love where they at. You know what I'm saying? And so it will be hard to get them convinced to leave. You got people middle age, in my age group, right? Middle age, young, who may have a family, may not have a family, adjusting to the South or adjusting to another place in the Northeast corridor. It'll take a lot for people to do that. So I don't think people realize what they have done until later on this year. And by then they're already stuck in a situation. And they're going to make it difficult for you to change your residency. See, they're losing so much money now of revenue, that they're going to penalize you for changing your residency. Let me look up something real quick. Change of residency being penalized. Change of residency being penalized. Because knowing how this goes, I would not put it past these people. It says an employee could potentially penalize an employee for a change of residency, including termination, if the new location affects the employment relationship in a material way. An office requires business registration, or if the employee contract company policy employee requires living in a specific location or obtaining company approval for a move. Okay, that's talking about an employer. So yeah. So it says that your resident status reflects your permanent legal home and can affect your legal rights, voting capability, and taxes. It also makes it easier to access state benefits such as a driver's license. So yeah, people are gonna have to go through a policy, you know? So yeah, I could see that potentially happening, y'all. It's just crazy how you find out that a place that was so everybody used to go to, wanted to visit, have not ever been there, have not ever got to experience the culture, the different of varieties that goes on in New York City, and now they won't ever get to experience it because you have a mayor now who wants to lower things down. How you expect people to provide services for the people working for them? The pay, look, at the end of the day, who's going to pay for the cost? Because the people with money is the ones who keep the people, hit the majority of the money spent to make sure New York City goes well. They invest in the city. The working people keep the city going. In order for that to happen, is some people with money have to invest in the people. How you expect them to invest in the people if you want to take from them? They're already doing enough to provide services for the people. And you don't want to give them a break? I'm telling you, people in New York City are not where they used to be. Go-getters. Their mindset have changed into accepting this nonsense, y'all. You're going to see serious people with money eventually leaving that city. and they're going to try to penalize them. So I could expect to see a exodus of people with serious money leaving before the year's over with. If they do decide to stay, they're going to be penalized for doing right. I wonder what the owners of the sports have to say. The owners of the companies, what will Wall Street do? Will Wall Street go to Dallas, Texas now? Can we see a shift changing? Will Wall Street close down there in lower Manhattan and go to Dallas? Or banks are going to close down more branches and move elsewhere? So yeah, it's crazy. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be wild. It's going to be wild in New York City, y'all. I don't know what to expect except what I just, see for happening if it does go down like that. And so my sympathy go out to the actual New Yorkers who gone through a lot, and now they have to deal with uncertainty of what this person is going to do to the city. For those who have gotten out of New York City, I know it behoves you to look at where you came from. You're like, dang, I didn't know it was going to be this wild. Wow. It's very unfortunate. Uh, and it hasn't recovered since the shutdown. The city has not recovered since the shutdown. And now they put a dent to it. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this pans out, y'all, in the coming months. All I can tell y'all is this is not fear. This is not doom and gloom. This is for you to get a time period to get them out of there if you can. You could move to the state of New York, or move further up north. You don't have to stay in New York City. You could stay in the surrounding areas of New York City. The only thing with that is it's going to cost more for you to travel down to the city if you work there. It's something you're going to have to give. It's either deal with what's going on there and be penalized for doing right, or move out of that region and if you're Ibarasi, be in a common ground Ibarasi state and get away from that far left New York City rhetoric that's going to come. They said that a lot of young people voted for this guy. Well, he's 34 and he's from another country. He's from another country and he became the mayor of New York City. Well, there's nothing that I could say other than play a quick clip of what Giuliani had to say. The best mayor of all time, what he had to say about the situation. So let me get this thing on charge real quick. I'm going to be quickly as possible with this. Shout out to those who double tap the like button on their way in. Shout out to those who double tap the like button on their way in. We're going to listen to the best mayor of all time. All right. Excuse me. Let's get to it.
On Truth Social because it references something that you just said. He wrote, if communist candidate Zoran Mandami wins the election for mayor of New York City, it is highly unlikely that I will be contributing federal funds other than the very minimum as required to my beloved first home because of the fact that, as a communist, this once great city has zero chance of success or even survival. It can only get worse with a...
So President Trump has made it clear if he gets into office running the mayor, he will not support New York City, a place he was born at, a place that he loved. And now he sees that the people have chosen Madami as the New York City mayor. So there's not going to be a lot of support coming in from the president and his regime. So this is getting serious, y'all. Listen again.
I want to read this post that Donald Trump put on Truth Social because it references something that you just said. He wrote, if communist candidate Zoran Mandami wins the election for mayor of New York City, it is highly unlikely that I will be contributing federal funds other than the very minimum as required to my beloved first home because of the fact that, as a communist, this once great city has zero chance of success or even survival. It can only get worse with a communist at the helm, and I don't want to send as president good money after bad. It is my obligation.
I don't want to say good money after bad situations. This is in the Bible. We're not supposed to support sinners. That's biblical. We're not to support sinners, and I do believe Trump is not going to support New York City. This is why I say that the state of New York is going to separate from the city of New York, because although Holcomb is no great governor, she's not a great governor, she knows that the state of New York will get her out of office. So to avoid that, she may make a various decision and say, I retract of me endorsing this guy. I need the funds. This is not going to help. And so I do believe that the city of New York will have to do, the borough presidents of the city of New York will have to figure out how to get funds like they did before it connected to the state of New York. That's what's going to happen, y'all. And Trump is not going to support the city of New York. He's making it clear. Let's go.
To run the nation, and it is my strong conviction that New York City will be a complete and total economic and social disaster should Mamdani win. His principles have been tested for over 1,000 years, and never once have they been successful. I would much rather see a Democrat who has a record of success win than a communist with no experience and a record of complete and total failure. He was nothing as an assemblyman, ranked at the bottom of the class, and as mayor of potentially, again, the greatest city in the world, he has no chance to bring it back to its former glory. We must also remember this: a vote for Curtis Sliwa, who looks much better without the beret, is a vote for Mamdani. Whether you personally like Cuomo or not, you really have no choice. You must vote for him and hope he does a fantastic job. He is capable of it. Mamdani is not. Now, the interesting part of that is, if I'm not mistaken, you are supporting Curtis Sliwa, correct?
Yes, I agree with the president on most of it. I disagree with him on Andrew Cuomo. I think Andrew Cuomo is the mistake the Republican Party has made very, very often.
And that's a respectable response for Mayor Giuliani. He don't agree with the president of Cuomo. Cuomo is the two of the lesser evil. At the same time, he is far leftist. So I know where Giuliani is going with this because I listened to it already. So I'm just giving y'all the heads up. I just want y'all to hear what's going on. Let's go.
In fact, if we had continued that mistake, we wouldn't have Donald Trump. I mean, we got beaten with Barry Goldwater, but we didn't give up our principles. We didn't go endorse Democrats from then on. We elected some Republicans, we lost, but we stuck to our main principles: smaller government, active military, large military, and then we got Donald Trump. For us to build, the most critical thing is for us to build an alternative party in New York. Even before Mondami, New York is a socialist, communist state. Its judiciary in the city of New York is...
He's right about that. He's right about that. I'll be right back, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Let me make sure I got everything I need. The thing I'm looking for, I don't see it. Okay, I got it. I'll be right back, y'all. All right, so think about this. The former mayor, the greatest mayor, is right. We got to stick to the party at the same time. It's just unfortunate what's going to happen with New York City. Let's go.
pretty close to entirely corrupt politically. You saw that with the Trump trials. I can show you 100 examples of that, including my own. And I've been practicing law in New York for 50 years. And the New York Supreme Court has been basically run by the bosses of the Democratic Party for all of those 50 years. I can go on and on. The real core problem in New York City is you have to have an honest alternative to the Democrats. Cuomo will get us halfway there. Mondami may take us there faster. And there's no guarantee that Cuomo won't cave. Cuomo is the author of all the reasons why we have more crime. There are 48 cop killers on the street because he changed the parole laws. There were about 5,000 to 7,000 criminals walking the street that would be in jail if I were mayor or Bloomberg. They're out because of Cuomo signing the law to do it. Cuomo signed the law to kill babies in the womb up to 9 months, just as they're coming out.
And the COVID disaster and having to step down in a sex scandal, all of that. So I don't think anyone watching this has any love lost for Andrew Cuomo. But what would you say to the person that would say, Rudy, if Sliwa takes 10 or 12% of the vote, that will ensure the Mamdani win, where in essence he has no real chance of winning. Cuomo is now only, seemingly within a couple points. I mean, what's your counter argument to that? Because I get it on the idea level, but at a pure political level,
Cuomo is not enough of a difference to abandon the party. Because if we abandon the party and we get used to that, and we do it too often in New York, we'll have no party. When people say, where's the Republican Party in New York? Well, if you run away from your candidate for mayor, you know what happens to the down ticket? We'll have nobody in the city council. So you got to make a choice. If Cuomo were a better Democrat, if I could justify to my conscience voting for him, I would. I thought about it, talked about it, have gotten a lot of pressure to do it. As a matter of conscience, I can't vote for a man that I know was responsible for killing so many people.
And that is the loyalty, not only to the city of New York that Giuliani had, to the people that serve New York City. So you got to think about it from that perspective. I can see what Trump is saying. I could disagree too with that, because he was a governor of New York, and we know what happened during the shutdown, amongst other things. So, yeah, I'm going to say this, though. It was bound to happen eventually. New York City was going to meet its time, and it's going to ricochet to Los Angeles, and it's already going on in Chicago. So the three prominent cities The three prominent cities, New York, Chicago, and LA, where everybody used to want to go to in the 90s, somewhat 2000s, are becoming a thing of the past. I see Mrs. Eldridge is in there. How you doing, Mrs. Eldridge? Good day. Tell your husband I say hello. Tell the family I say hello. I appreciate you coming through. The truth of the matter is, you can ask anybody that's from Chicago, LA, and New York City, was the prominent places people from all around the world, people from the South, people from other jurisdictions in that particular area will always want to go to those places. Now, it's a thing of the past. The three hot spots people are going to is Florida, Texas, and Tennessee. I'm going to say that again. The three hot spots for now that people are going to is Florida, Texas, and Tennessee. Yes, they go visit North Carolina and Georgia, which is in the top 5 economically. Yet, I'm talking about people from all around the world and people that is in the surrounding areas of the South or the Northeast, the Midwest, or the West Coast are traveling more into Florida, Texas, and Tennessee. That's a fact. That's a fact. And so, it's in a very, very troubling time for New York City. At the same time, you could use this as a motivation to look into other places or go to the state of New York, because I'm telling you, the woman that's in charge of the New York City, not New York City, she's in charge of New York City too. The governor of the state of New York, they will separate itself, and the boroughs, presidents of the 5 boroughs of New York City is going to have to figure out how to allocate money. And that's why Trump said what he said, that he is not going to bring in federal money to the city of New York if they support a senator. And they supported a senator, so we will see. And that's partly why we have this shutdown, because Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumacher knows that they voted for this. Listen, this is going to be a hot mess. Look, it's going to be a hot mess. This is why I was telling Forever Studio, this could go on for a long time, because now that everything is played out, and now we know they got the Ibarasi governor of Virginia. You got the Ibarasi governor of Virginia and New Jersey. So now they got their positions, right? You got the 2 lady Ibarasi women in charge, one in New Jersey, one in Virginia. You got the socialist communist Madami in New York as the mayor. And so what this shows you is that these places don't care for the average man, average woman. They don't. And I really sympathize with the people of New York City. I just don't see them getting the support they're going to get in New York State. It's going to pull their support away, because the people in New York State is going to ask for the separation of New York City. Time will tell. You know, the man has not been sworn in yet. He will be sworn in. We will talk about his sworn in. We will do a live stream about it. And I'll tell you the do's and don'ts, just like I did with Mayor Adams. And it came to fruition. So, hey, yeah, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Continue to double tap the like button on your way in. I appreciate those who tune into the show. Make sure you double tap the like button on your way in and subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed to the channel for all notifications. Looking forward to seeing what you got to say in the comment section. I'm looking forward to that, amongst other stuff. It's a very troubling time we in. No, it's not really. It's more of a learning about what's going on and what we need to do as a people. That's on point. All right. Y'all take it easy out there, and shout out to Corey. He came in the building. And he says that New York City is done. It's not like it used to be. Marissa says that, yes, I'm not in Chicago. Yet I am in Central Illinois. And you're right. Yeah. AD says that then Tennessee is next for me because North Carolina is slowly but surely deteriorating. What do you mean by that, AD? What part of North Carolina are you at? What is it becoming, Ibarasi? You're saying that North Carolina is becoming Ibarasi? It's becoming like what? AD? Because a lot of people is moving to North Carolina, it's particularly Raleigh, Durham. People are moving to Raleigh, Durham, and what's the name? Fayetteville. They moving there. So that's what I'm hearing. Somewhat Charlotte. So you have to explain to me, AD, what's going on there. Why you think it's collapsing? Corey says, my heart goes out to New York City. I still have friends and former co-workers who live there. I hope the Most High guide them and help them make the right choices. Hopefully, move to another state. Yeah, even if they move, they could move to New York State. People are going to have to figure out the best decision for them. Yeah, because people are going to have to figure out the best decision for them and their family. You know? So, I'm not pushing no doom and gloom. I'm just pushing the facts of people. Yeah, hold on. People are definitely deciding to what they gonna be good for their family. You can't fault them for that. So I appreciate your support by liking the video. If you digging the content, support the Cash App, support the Venmo. If you digging the content, y'all, if you really digging the content, you like the work I'm doing, that's Ringo's talking point. I always give proper credit, proper due. If you really digging the content and you really liking the content, support the work, y'all. Support the work. You know what I'm saying? Support the Cash App, support the Venmo. I appreciate y'all tuning in, though. Shout out to all the mods and the members and those in the chat room who will watch the replay. Hey, that's something to look into. What could end up happening, what could end up transpiring. So y'all tell me what you think in the comment section. And to those who want me to continue, listen, if y'all want me to continue to talk about the Destiny Swap, y'all got to support the stream, y'all. Because, look, at the end of the day, I'm giving out information that nobody on YouTube is giving out when it comes to the Destiny Swap. A lot of people want me to talk about it. You got to support the work. You got to put something in a jar, y'all. Because at the end of the day, I could put that for members only. Like, seriously, like certain information like that, coming out, because the views is not getting to where it needs to be. You get what I'm saying? I'm saying things that other people talk about it, and I'm not hating on them. I'm like, why is I'm not getting the push? Because the people are not supporting and pushing the videos. If you want something, you have to push it. You got to get it out there, y'all. So with that said, I'm going to get on out of here.